Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is March 16th, 2023, and we are in the Old Testament. We are in the book of Exodus. We are going to read chapter 20, verse 18 to 21:11 today. So, Moses is at the top of Mount Sinai. All of Israel is at the bottom. Smoke, clouds, thunder. That's all the people are seeing. But Moses is talking to God, and God just laid out the Ten Commandments. And now God's going to expand on that with some more rules and some more laws. Now, I said yesterday, and I've said before, I'm a Gentile. I'm not a Jew, so this does not technically cover me. I'm covered under a different covenant. I'm covered directly under Jesus. So why do I want to know this? Well, this is teaching me about God, what's important to God, what God thinks wanted his people to do back then. And I can look at well, we're going to see some rules about servants and slaves. Oh, the Old Testament's all about slavery. Well, no, slavery existed before this. God didn't invent slavery. We invented slavery. But God is telling us, hey, you know what? If you're going to have slaves, you got to treat them like people. You were a slave, you Israelites. So remember how that worked out for you. Pharaoh wanting to kill the firstborn just because he didn't like you guys. You got to treat your servants right. You got a male servant, well, after he works for you for a while, you got to let him go. You got a female servant, well, we know you are sleeping with her, so you can't just let her go. You got to treat her like a wife because that's what you got out of that deal. And we see that develop all the way to the New Testament where they're encouraging slaveholders, hey, you know what? That's your brother. If he's a Christian and you're a Christian, he's your brother. You don't necessarily have to let him go, but if you're going to treat him like a brother, you make the right decision. You're probably going to let him go. And it took us a while to figure that out, but we eventually got there, most of us. So again, we're seeing laws that, while they don't necessarily apply to me and you as a Christian Gentile in the 21st century, it does show us how God related to the people back then, what was important to God, what's still important to God. So it gives us some insights. So one thing to keep in mind as we're reading this is the commandment that Jesus gave. Love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. That's the greatest commandment. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you do those two things, all the prophecies and all the laws are fulfilled. So filter all of that through that as we read this and see that, oh, okay, that's loving your neighbor. Oh, yeah, that's loving God. All right, so again, we're going to read Exodus chapter 21, verse 18 to 21:11. Now all the people witnessed the thunderings, the lightning flashes, the sound of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they trembled and stood afar off. And they said to Moses, you speak with us, and we will hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said to the people, do not fear, for God has come to test you, and that his fear may be before you, so that you may not sin. So the people stood afar off, but Moses drew near the thick darkness where God was. Then the Lord said to Moses, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, you have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. You shall not make anything to be with me. Gods of silver or gods of gold you shall not make for yourselves. An altar of earth you shall make for me, and you shall sacrifice on it your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and your oxen. In every place where I record my name I will come to you, and I will bless you. And if you make me an altar of stone, you shall not build it of hewn stone, for if you use your tool on it, you have profaned it. Nor shall you go up by steps to my altar, that your nakedness may not be exposed on it. Now these are the judgments which you shall set before them. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he shall serve 6 years, and in the 7th he shall go out free and pay nothing. If he comes in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master has given him a wife, and she has borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. But if the servant plainly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him to the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or to the doorpost, and his master shall pierce his ear with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. And if a man sells his daughter to be a female slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. If she does not please her master who has betrothed her to himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. He shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, since he has dealt deceitfully with her. And if he has betrothed her to his son, he shall deal with her according to the custom of daughters. If he takes another wife, he shall not diminish her food, her clothing, and her marriage rights. And if he does not do these three for her, then she shall go out free without paying money. May God bless reading of His Word, and may God bless you. Bye.